In their first high-level talks since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, China and Russia have signed a joint declaration on global governance. The statement says all human rights are universal, indivisible, and interrelated. It also says international law is the cornerstone of the development of human society. Foreign Ministers Wang Yi and Sergei Lavrov met in Guilin City in South China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region. A joint news conference has been held on the two-day meeting where both sides discussed issues including the pandemic, security, China-Russia partnership. The Chinese foreign minister called for multilateralism, while his Russian counterpart said cooperation should be built on mutual trust and respect.
We will participate in and improve global governance in the spirit of openness, tolerance, and equality. Zero-sum thinking and ideological prejudice must stop, as well as interference in internal affairs of any country. We should promote the well-being of all peoples through dialogue and cooperation, and jointly build a community with a shared future for mankind.
Our position is very clear. We firmly oppose sanctions. We like the EU to seize the wide momentum and get the correct picture of our cooperation. And that cooperation should also build on mutual trust and respect.
For more on the meeting, our Su Yuting reports from the joint news conference in Guilin.
This morning, State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi have held talks with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, and they have met the press to brief the outcomes of the two-day meetings. And cooperation in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic is high on the top agenda. In the face of the once-in-a-century pandemic, China and Russia have stood shoulder to shoulder and worked closely to combat both the coronavirus and the political virus. So both China and Russia are providing vaccines to dozens of countries. But some people say that China is engaged in vaccine diplomacy and Russia is expanding its influence. So during the joint press conference, I asked the State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi about his comment on this issue. Wang Yi answered my question and he said China is an advocate for equitable vaccine distribution, and China have joined the COVAX, under which China has undertaken to provide an initial 10 million doses for emergency use in developing countries. And Wang Yi also emphasized that China opposes vaccine nationalism and reject any vaccine divide or any attempt to politicize the vaccine cooperation. The safety and effectiveness of the Chinese vaccines are earning recognition around the world. And the two sides also discussed the issues related to the U.S. because timing is very significant, as Lavrov's visit to China just to come a few days after China-U.S. dialogue in Alaska. And Wang Yi said China is willing to work with Russia and the international community to constantly and firmly uphold the basic norms of international relations and safeguard the world's equity and justice. And Lavrov also stressed that the two sides should firmly oppose the U.S. act of undermining multilateralism and resist American suppression against Russia and China, safeguard international law, maintain the common interests of the two countries, and safeguard international stability and cooperation.